Გამარჯობათ მეგობრებო. Ამ ვიდეოში მინდა ცოტა მოგიყვა ქართული ენის შესახებ. მაგრამ ნუ ნერვიულობთ. მთელი ვიდეო ქართულად არ იქნება. Often when I tell people that I've lived in Georgia, they say something like, Georgia? Cool, I have a cousin who lives in Atlanta. No, actually I mean Georgia the country. Oh, I get it, like out in the country. No, Georgia the country next to Russia. But then comes the follow-up question. So, what language do they even speak there? Georgian? Oh, I guess that makes sense. So, is that anything like Russian? Nope. Come on, you gotta give me something familiar to work with. What alphabet do they use? They use the Georgian alphabet. There's nothing familiar for you to work with. It's its own animal. Imagine if Navajo and Inuktitut had a baby, and that baby learned to write Elvish letters. That's how different Georgian is from any Middle Eastern or European language. Although I shouldn't say it has nothing in common with those languages. This baby was raised by Persians, Turks, and Russians for hundreds and hundreds of years. That's Georgian in a nutshell. The first thing that'll probably jump out at you when you see an example of Georgian is the alphabet. Depending on the font, it looks like a mixture of Elvish and Klingon. If you think a lot of the letters look the same, you're not completely wrong. With some letters, if you just draw the line a little too long or you write it just a little too low, then it's a different letter. You can arrange much of the alphabet into a little mini march of progress to see how one letter evolves into another. But once you have the alphabet down, you'll come to realize that that was the easy part. You'll soon find that many of the sounds have no analog in any European language. Most notably are the so-called implosive consonants. These consonants can be found in a lot of Native American languages, in other Caucasian languages, and in a few African languages. To make these sounds, you cut off the air in your throat while you're making the sound, and then you release the air afterwards. In a way, it's like someone's punching you in the gut. So imagine you're saying the letter T and someone punches you in the gut. Duh. Or the letter P. Duh. Or that you're choking and someone punches you in the gut. Once you have these sounds down, you'll have to wrap your mouth around monstrous consonant clusters. For example, there's a river that runs through the capital of Georgia, Tbilisi. And let's just take a moment to appreciate that name, Tbilisi. Anyways, this river is called the Mtkvari. If four totally random, different consonants being pronounced together isn't enough, when you want to put this river in its possessive form and say, for example, the Mtkvari's length, you have to say Mtkvris Sigridze. Mtkvris Sigridze. Anyways, let's learn some basic words, shall we? How about some family members? When I started learning about Georgian grammar, I came across an example sentence like this one. The boy's father. Beach is mama. When I first saw that, I was like, no, that can't be right. Mama does not mean father. Let's look it up. Father in Georgian is mama. Well, then how do you say mother? Mother is deda. And if you speak Russian, it gets worse. How do you say papa? Mama. Then how do you say mama? Deda. Then how do you say dedushka? Babua. Then how do you say babushka? Babya. I remember walking along the beach in Batumi and seeing this little boy walking with his dad, and he was like, Mama, nache. I was like, I don't see any Oh, right. Georgian. All right, let's give the family members a rest and talk about another simple topic. Numbers. In a base 10 number system like English, when you want to say a number like, say, 45 or 99, you start by saying the multiple of 10, and then you say the multiple of 1, just like how you write the number. Georgian, however, has a base 20 system. So when you count up to 30, it sounds like 28, 29, 2010, 2011, 2012. And when you get up to 40, you're basically saying 2018, 2019, 220. 221, 222, 223. So when you want to say a number like 45, you don't start by saying 4. You say 220 and 5. And if you want to say 99, you don't start by saying 9. You say 420 and 19. You have to be Abraham Lincoln at the Gettysburg Address. 7 years ago. Just say 87. No one will judge you. One of the things that really fascinated me as a young language enthusiast was when you could say something in a foreign language with one word that required multiple words in English. In Spanish, to say I speak, you can just say hablo. In Turkish, to say I can talk to your friend, you just say arkadaşınla konuşabilirim. In Georgian, you can form the verb to express both the subject and the object. I see you.
Gchedav.
You see me.
Mchedav.
They see us.
Gvchedaven.
I will call you back. Godmo Girekov. Anyways, if you're like me and you like to learn languages, but you also like to torture yourself, then look no further than Georgian verbs. They will keep you entertained for years to come. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Comment below with a word in the language that blows your mind. Check me out on italki if you want to learn either English or Russian, and I'll see you guys next time. Droebit!